The award of the PhD sorry, somebody must have I feel a noise from the background, so I'm trying to clear what noise is from, where that noise is from. Oh. Okay, so Dr. Mufutau Ajani Rufai obtained his PhD from the University of Bari, Aldo Moro, Italy in 2022. The award of the PhD was strongly supported by 2 external examiners who each assessed the thesis as excellent from all points of view. The award of the doctorate in computer science and mathematics with cum laude qualification was the unanimous recommendation of the examiners. Currently, he holds a postdoctoral research position at the Free University of Bozen-Bolzano in Italy. He has actively participated in international conferences, workshops, and has authored many scientific research papers on numerical solution for ordinary differential equations and differential problems. His research interest lies in applied mathematics and focuses on numerical analysis, differential equations, and applications, computational mathematics, and optimization. At this point, I welcome Dr. Rufai to give us his talk. Thank you. So Dr. Rufai, you may share your screen, please. Dr. Rufai, you may share your screen, please.
You are muted.
You have 35. Oh, you are muted? Okay, sorry. I just missed you. Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Maybe you could make it full screen view.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Excellent. Yes, you can see it now.
Okay. Yeah, first and foremost, thank you so much for the brief introduction, Professor Julius. Yeah, you've said that you've already read thanks for the brief introduction. Yeah, today I would like to discuss some of the research I obtained during my PhD. And the title of today's talk is Block Methods for Solving Initial and Boundary Follow Differential Problems. Yeah, in this talk, I will explain the development, the theoretical analysis, and the implementation of block methods for solving initial and boundary follow problems in orderly differential equation. And I will just give one example of time-dependent PDE, because as you can see on the screen, these are the problems I do consider in my manuscript, also in my thesis. These are the problems I do solve using block methods. As you can see, numerical problems of the form 1 to 5 can be found in different disciplines. For example, they may be found in mathematical modeling, physical and applied sciences, and even social sciences and engineering, amongst other disciplines.
Sorry, Dr. Rufai, sorry to put you back. Sorry. Can I just quickly stop share? Can you quickly stop sharing and come back again, please? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You can continue, please. Continue, please. Sorry.
Yeah. Is there any problem? I can do that. No problem.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You can continue now. I was trying to do something. You can continue, please.
Okay. Yeah, as I said earlier, in this talk, I will provide the numerical solution to these 5 problems you can see. And I mentioned that this problem can be found in different mathematical modeling, like SIR model, which I will solve, also in applied sciences and engineering. And I want to note something, that most of the differential problems, as you can see, in the form of equation 1 to 5, arising from the modeling of physical phenomena, do not have known analytical solution. Even in case of having them, it can be a challenge or difficult to tackle, maybe because of the non-linearity or because of the singularity. Therefore, numerical methods were introduced to provide the approximate solution to this problem. That is the main important. I would like to note again, it's an approximate solution. It can never be an exact solution. Please, we should know this. Then I can proceed. This is a brief introduction I've already mentioned. A lot of people have already worked on this area, as you all know, including Professor Julius. And I just mentioned some of books that is a common books you can read, and some articles, because there are a lot of manuscripts, a lot of books, and I've already talked about and discussed, study, and apply various numerical methods to solve the problem considered. Among them are the one you can see on the screen. Let me just move straightly to my talk now, which is the method I will present today. The method I will present today, I call it block methods. Block methods, as you all know, it consists of continuous linear multi-step method, and it gives solutions simultaneously. And in summary, in block methods, the approximation are obtained at a consecutive grid point in the interval of integration. The main benefit of block method is that it can be less costly in terms of total number of functions of evaluation, in terms of number of steps, in terms of Newton iteration, in terms of Jacobi iteration, because most especially when we are solving higher problems, it can give direct solution to higher problem from second order upward. But when we are solving initial value problem, I would like to note that it is better to consider variable step size implementation, because that is why you can see, if you don't consider the variable step size implementation, you will see the benefit of variable steps size implementation, because it will give better accuracy, even if you consider a very large integration interval. But let me mention this, maybe from the audience, they can tackle this problem. I've already applied variable step size implementation to initial value problem, but I haven't done that. I have not even seen it in the literature for the boundary value problems. This is an open from the audience, because I was told that if a couple of PhD students, a couple of researchers can do this, it will be I would really happy if someone can try to do variable step size implementation for solving boundary value problems. But we've already done it for the initial value problem. Yeah, that's by the way. Now, during my PhD, in my thesis, I use different ways to construct block methods. One of the ways I use is, we call it optimization techniques. Optimization techniques in block method means that, whenever we want to consider the hybrid block methods, hybrid means that the off-grid point, we can use the fees. Maybe I want to divide interval 0 to 1 into 2. I can consider half. If I want to divide it into 3, I can consider 1/3, 2/3, and 1. But if you want to get better accuracy, it is better to optimize those off-grid points. That's what I did in my PhD. I tried to optimize them instead of you consider fee step size. This is the brief explanation I gave here. I used the normal procedure, but now you can see that I tried to use optimization. So I said that in this slide, you can see after some simplification, I rewrite the equation 6, which is a polynomial in the power series we are using to approximate the exact solution. Then I form the continuous scheme you can see here. And from there, then I now continue to optimize. I cannot present this optimization technique here. If you want, you can see some of our work, some of my work and my colleagues, and in the literature. And in summary, after the optimization techniques, we obtain this local truncation error. Then after solving these, we have different off-grid points. But for us, for me, during my thesis, the optimal one I consider is C1 is equal to this, C2 is equal to this, and C3 is equal to this. And after that, I have evaluated the power series I'm using to consult the plot method. Then I get the main formula. This is the main formula you can see here. Then, as I mentioned, because of block mode, I want to implement this in block mode, which means that I will need additional formulas. And for this additional formula, I consider the evaluation of the off-grid point as well, C1, C2, C3. When it said here, I just put said here, then I obtain another 3 formulas. Then I combine the 3 formulas I obtain now with the equation 9 to get a complete 4 formulas that form M1 method. For this presentation, I call it M1 for the brief. Then this is the example of how to derive first-order block method for solving first-order differential problems. Now I move to second-order problems. For the second-order problem, I did not use power series now. Now I use Lagrange basis polynomial, as you can see. But for this one, I want to obtain higher order methods. I also use optimization techniques. As you can see, I use optimization technique as well. Using the same procedure I mentioned earlier, which I won't be able to present the complete procedure here. I fuse C2. Anyway, I can also optimize C1, C2, C3, C4 for my thesis, for my one. Yeah, this work has already published in Mathematical Method in Applied Sciences in 2002. You can see it in some of my manuscripts. I fuse C2 to be half. Then I optimize the other 3, C1, C3, and C4. Then after some simplification, I got the optimal coefficient I choose, because there are many. There will be many, but the one I chose is the one I wrote in red, as you can see. Then I obtained the main formula as well for the main formula and its derivatives. Also, since I want to implement it also in block form, I also do the evaluation at the off-grid point to obtain another 8 formulas, which I combine with these 2 formulas to form the complete block method, which I use to solve second-order differential problems in my thesis. Then I proceed. Since, if you remember from the introduction, I mentioned Lane-Emden-Fowler. I have to say this, the major difference, the difficulties of this Lane-Emden-Fowler is that there is a singularity at point S is equal to 0. Even when, during my PhD, when I saw this in the literature, I thought I won't be able to use block method to solve these problems because of the singularity at point S is equal to 0. As time goes on, we proceed toward the end of my PhD program. I studied, then I was able to obtain a result that if we can combine block methods, two different block methods, if we can combine them together, but in order to avoid the singularity, you won't consider the F naught for the. That's why for the other block method, because immediately you consider F naught, you won't be able to use the method to solve Lane-Emden because of the singularity at S is equal to 0. Therefore, what I did was that I did not do the collocation at F naught. Then I obtain another block method. Then I now combine the two formulas. That's why some of the work about the Lane-Emden is either we call it pair block methods, or we call it block techniques. We pluralize it because of pair. That's what I did during my PhD. Then, I just give another M6. I call it M6 in my thesis as well. I won't present the procedure for obtaining this. It's the same procedure as you can see, but this is for third order differential problems. Then, now, since I still want to apply these methods to solve boundary Fowler problem, you have to form global method. To solve a nature Fowler problem is, you don't need global method. But for the boundary Fowler problem, you need global method. This is the procedure I use to obtain global method during the implementation. And then detailed explanation can be found in some of my work. Yes, let me just brief the theoretical analysis, like order of accuracies. Yes, for this, I just present the order of accuracy for the M2. That is to say, I'm referring to second order differential block method for second order differential problems. Yes, I do. We all know this thing, how to find the order after I consult the multi-step formula. I use the same procedure. Then I obtain the order of accuracy to be 7, and this is the local truncation error for the Y1. But for the Y2, for the prime, I obtain order of accuracy to be 8, and the local truncation is this. As we all know that using the last theorem, that whenever you are dealing with one-step methods, and then also and the order is greater than 1, it is obvious that it is consistent. Then consistent and zero stable implies the convergence for the nature Fowler problem. When you are solving boundary Fowler problem, it is better to prove the convergence analysis. It is better, but it is better. This is what during my PhD, whenever I'm solving boundary Fowler problem, I prove the convergence analysis. I don't use, it is also valid, but some examiner, I think it is better because some researchers have already confirmed that when you are solving boundary Fowler problem, you must prove the convergence analysis if you want your work to be in novel. Otherwise, the reviewer may reject your work. Okay, now let me move to linear stability. I studied the linear stability of M2, and I used this standard test equation. Then after some simplification, I obtained the stability interval to be this, and this is the figure, the stability region in the complex shared plane using standard test equation. We can also use, during my thesis, I also use the one without the derivatives, because when you are whenever you are solving second order problem without first derivatives, you have to use another standard test equation. I think I did both during my thesis, but I just here I would like to just present for the standard test equation, because in general, when you're solving second order problem, that's the major problem of Newstrom method. Most of the Newstrom method can't solve general second order problems, but block methods can do that effectively. I move on. Now I want to explain a little bit about the variable step size implementation. Whenever you want to implement variable step size, you will need a lower order method or higher order method. I consider both. For the first order problems, when I want to implement M1 using variable step size implementation, this is the method. The method I give in question 14 is the one I use to solve, to estimate the local error. Then this is the strategy I use to change the step size. Because I don't fix the step size, I change it. That's why we call it variable step size implementation. This is the strategy I use to change the variable step size. Doing this, I was able to solve the problem using a very large integration interval, as you can see, whenever I'm in the subsequent slide where we present my numerical results. Then this is the strategy. This is what I did. If the estimator is less than or greater or less than or equal to R relative tolerance, then you can accept and proceed with next step. But whenever it is greater, you have to change it using this strategy. Anyway, for the first order, I use P+1. It is not compulsory to use P+1, but you can also use P. P means the order of the order of the lower order method. I consider lower order method for the error estimation here. And for the second order problem, I think I consider higher order method for the error estimation, or the same order method. It depends on the implementation and the strategy you use to change the step size. Some researchers, you can see in the literature, some researchers like to give the safety factor, which I call phi here, and it has to be within 1. It can never be more than 1. But if you don't give it, you can get a lot of your rejected step size will be many, and it won't give you better accuracy. It is better to give this safety factor. And the purpose is to avoid more and more phase step, as I mentioned here. Then I proceed. Yes, as I mentioned, this is the method I use for the error estimation for the second order methods. As you can see, this is higher order method. I consider C1, C2, C3, C4 for the main method, but now I extend it to 6.5 and 6.6, 6.7, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. And to obtain this method is not easy because it is not simple at all. Because when I'm trying to do the implementation, because I've already increased the interval for the main method, but later on I was able to solve this problem provide efficient solution to these second order problems, especially when I'm solving Van der Pol. Van der Pol is one of the steep problems, and I consider a very large integration interval. And I use this error estimation. This is also the strategy, the same strategy anyway. I'm using but for the second order, your multi-step method must be also second order. Then, yes, just for the implementation, whenever you want to implement the initial value problem, you must rewrite this in form of this, because the method we are solving, the block method I presented is, both of them are implicit, which means that I have to solve nonlinear equation. I use modify Newton method for my thesis anyway. Now I'm thinking to use another efficient one to solve, maybe if we can consider another efficient nonlinear solver, maybe we can get better accuracy. This is the procedure when you are solving second order differential problem. This is the procedure I use during this is summary. The detailed implementation detail can be found in some of my manuscript. Now let's move straight to the implementation. In this section, I will provide some real-world problems. And the main reason is to test the efficiency and the benefit of the block methods in this talk. And these are the methods I use to compare the result I obtain. I compare these methods with block methods I presented. During my thesis, I think I present M1, M2, different methods up to different block method of different block methods. I think up to M6. Yeah, so I developed different block methods. Then I use it to solve first order, second order, and then third order differential problems. Yeah. For this talk, I will just mention maybe 11 problems, if time permits. First problem I consider is the SI model, which is an epidemiology model, and it can be used to model COVID-19 and other diseases. Yeah, after some simplification, I obtained these first order simple, I call it simple, but for you to, after you have to sum this equation, then after some simplification, you will obtain this. Then you can easily obtain the exact solution of this as well. Then now, these are the results I obtained. For the M1 method, you can see that the number of steps is 10, the number of Newton iteration is 17, the total number of function evaluation is 50, and the number of Jacobi is 10, the CPU time is this, and the maximum relative error is this. Although you can see that here it seems that the error here is greater, but don't think like that. What it is matter most is the number of steps. The number of steps here is 10, and the number of steps here is, if you see now, the number of steps here is 17, and the number of steps here is 58. If you can see, you see that the best accuracy is still the block method. But the major problem of the longitudinal method is that you can see that the number of steps is higher, and the number of iteration as well, and the time, and also the error. Therefore, in summary, the best accuracy, the block method, the optimized method give better accuracy in terms of number of steps, in terms of CPU time, in terms of total number of function evaluation, therefore in terms of computational costs. Also, I consider the Steve problem as well. As you can see, the Steve problem is given in question 18. Then now you see M1 also give the number of steps is 25, the number of steps here is 23, here is 88. Although you see error here is -10, error here is -5, error here is -6. Although here is the number of steps here is 23, which is lesser, but now you see now here, the number of steps for this method is 37, and the error is still -6, compared to error, the number of steps here is 25, where the error is -10. That is how we compare, because whenever you are present the result, you have to be very careful. You have to present the result you obtain, and you will now compare. You give some explanation to explain the result you obtain. That's what, in summary, you can see that the best accuracy corresponding to the block methods. Now, this is one of the time-dependent PDE. I use method of line to discretize this and this. Then I obtain system of ordinary differential equation. Then I solve it using M1. Then, as you can see that the best accuracy is, I see number of steps here is 4, and the number of steps here is 23, and the error is smaller than the maximum relative error is smaller than the one of the. This one is, I mentioned, is implicit because longitudinal method for the 6. As you can see, for the complete, in terms of number of steps, in terms of number of Newton iteration, in terms of the total number of function evaluation, the best accuracy, the M1 provides best accuracy in terms of error times, in terms of computational costs, and these are the benefits of block methods. Now I move to second order differential problems. One of the second order differential problem I considered in my thesis is Van der Pol. As you can see, because of the variable step size implementation, I consider the interval of integration of 2000. 2000. You can consider as much as you want because you are integrate this step problem in using variable steps implementation. If you consider the constant steps, that's why we see in many literature they don't consider large interval of integration whenever they are using fixed step size implementation. And since there's no exact solution for this problem, I use the reference solution I found in the literature in one book of the numerical analysis, which happened, and Professor Mattia is one of professor of mathematics in my university where I did my PhD. He suggested that I should go and consider some of his previous work that he solved this problem. There is a reference solution there. Then I went to the literature that I found the manuscript. Then I use this as a reference solution because there's no exact solution. And I need to obtain the maximum relative error. Then I now consider the Lobato longitudinal for the heights because the method, the M2 method I proposed is also order 7. Then I use, as you can see, you can see the comparison here. You see the number of iteration and number of steps is very higher. No, it's not really high because you should also consider the integration server is 2000. It's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's not 100. It's 2000. Therefore, it is expected. Therefore, you can see that in terms of CPU time, number of Jacobi, in terms of computational cost, you will see the best in terms of the best accuracy. M2, the optimized block M2 gives better accuracy. Now, yeah, this is another problem I considered during my PhD. This is Lane-Emden type. As you can see, we want to solve this problem. Immediately you put a 0, you know, the integration interval starts from 0 to 1000. Immediately you put 0 here. We have what? We have the problem is undetermined. Therefore, we cannot, that's why I cannot use the main block method I developed to solve this problem. That's why I develop another method without consider the collocation at F0. Then I combine the two methods together. Then then during the implementation, during the implementation, it wasn't easy. But as time goes on, when my supervisor insisted that you have to address this problem, then I studied. Then at the end of the day, I was able to get the solution. Then doing this, I was able to get many manuscripts. Solving Lane-Emden type gave me opportunity to get to publish many papers, many research papers. And you can see that I did not compare the result here because in the literature, we could not find any variable step size implementation. Therefore, we cannot compare the results. The only thing is to compare, we cannot compare accurately because we cannot compare any method. We cannot compare the CPU time because we don't have the other available existing methods that consider the variable step size implementation. Then what I did is just to present the result I obtained, and this can serve as a reference solution for other researchers. As you can see, I did not compare here. You can see these are just M6, M6, M6. Now, I moved to boundary Fowler problem. Boundary Fowler problems, yes, this is one of the problems I solve. As you can see, this is not Dirichlet, this is not Newman, this is Robin type. This is much difficult during the implementation. It's very difficult when you are implementing this. But detailed explanation of implementation details can be found in some of my manuscripts. You can go and see this. Yes, you can see the result here. I just compare the maximum absolute error here, and you can see this gives smaller absolute error. This is also one of the singular Lane-Emden type, but now it's not initial value problem, it is boundary value problems. These are one of the real world problems in applied sciences. And as you can see, the detailed explanation of all these parameters were given in some of my manuscripts. And here I just want to compare the numerical solution with exact solution and obtain the absolute error. This is what I did here. I did not compare as well because I did not find methods in the literature for comparison. Now I move to third order. For the third order differential problems, one of the problems I will give in this talk is we call it thin film flow. It's a problem from the mechanics, from fluid mechanics, and is a non-linear problem, as you can see. And yes, I solved this problem also during my thesis, during my PhD. And then the method I use for comparison is a direct integration method, which the same thing. These are tolerance I use. In fact, I have to mention here, tolerance is equal, absolute tolerance here is also equal to relative tolerance. And then, yeah, then after the implementation, then these are the results I obtained. Now I move to, this is also the Lane-Emden type of third order types. I also consider M6 to solve this problem. Then these are the results I obtained. Because you give me 35 minutes, let me round off. Okay. Another problem I consider is beam problems. These are beam problems, real world problems in applied sciences and engineering. And then, yes, I apply M6 to solve this third order boundary value problem. You see this initial value problem, this boundary condition at half is not easy. The implementation is, you have to be very careful during the implementation because now it's not 1, it's not 2, it is half. You have to be very careful during the implementation. Yeah, another problem I consider is self-adjoint Lane-Emden type, which has the problem is a singular part 2 problems. As you can see, these are the results I obtained. But these are the results I obtained for, these are the results I obtained for epsilon is equal to 2 minus 4 minus 6 minus 8. And the step size is 1/10. As I mentioned, for the boundary value problem, I did not use variable step size. That's why you see that integration interval is not large. Yeah, last but not the least is one of the nonlinear boundary layer problem, which I consider. Since there's no known analytical solution for this problem, we just present the result and compare the result. But this problem is available. This problem has been solved in the literature, but since there's no known analytical solution, most of the researchers that solve these problems, they only give the result using the graph. That's why me too, we presented the graph, and the graph is the two graphs I will present here are corresponding to the results they obtain, but with the better accuracy. Yeah, since I mentioned this is one of real world problem. When alpha is equal to 1, this is velocity. This is y prime of x. It's not y of x. This one is y of x. But this one is velocity profile. Velocity profile is this is y prime of x. As I mentioned, these are one of the real world problems And up till now, there is no analytical solution for this problem. Maybe one of the researchers in your group can provide analytical solution for this problem. Yeah, this is in summary, I can conclude that the block method I gave in this talk provide better accuracy in terms of error terms and computational cost. When I mention computational cost, I mean time, CPU time, total number of function evaluation, number of Newton iteration. And you can see it is competitive compared with other results provided in the literature. Thanks for the listening. Yeah. This is what I have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you
It's
very
been a while.
much. Yeah, I'll just leave it now to Dr. Demba to move on from here.
Thank you, Prof.
Oh, I don't know you are here. Dr.
My
Demba,
friend,
how are you doing?
It's been a while, sir.
Yeah, been a while.
Yeah,
been a while. My
Thank
pleasure.
you so much for your wonderful presentation. We really appreciate you.
You are
to
welcome.
our audience,
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, if you have any question, you can use the raise up your hand option to ask.
I'm waiting for the questions.
Yeah, there's no any response, sir. So I don't know our viewers, our audience.
I raised my hand.
Okay, so let's start with you, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. The presenter, for a very nice presentation. It was indeed enlightening for a lot of us, I believe. So I have a question on, if you can go to slide 14, on the variable step adjustment.
Slide 14.
14, yes.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do you choose this method? Why star? You know, is there a strategy for choosing? I understand it's a lower order method, probably one order less than the main method.
Yeah.
So is there a strategy for choosing this?
Yes. Thanks so much for this question. Yeah. Yes. It is better to consider the same upgrade point to avoid much computational costs during the implementation. Therefore, I consider the same value for C1, C2, and C3.
Doc, if I understand well, you mean you have to consider a lower order method that is derived also using the same set of grid point.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So any question, please? I'm really surprised that there are less number of questions this time.
Well, maybe I can chip in something else again. It's just a request to the presenter. So the problems considered, when sharing the slide, hopefully I think I'll be glad if you can give a pointer to some of your publications where those problems appeared. You know, I believe it would be a very good idea. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. There are a lot of publications.
Yeah, just a few would do.
Yeah. I can send you some later after this talk. Yes, I think I gave some references here. Yes, you see now you can go to this. and this. This one is for third order, Lane-Emden-Fowler. This one is on the second. This is third order. This is the second order. And this one I consider variable self-size implementation. That's why I call it an adaptive. You know, I mentioned pair. You see now it's pair because of I'm considered the singular type.
Yes. Yeah. The last question may be a comment or a request. So the implementation of this method, are the codes shareable, or is something that you patented?
Which one?
Because some of us will, yeah. I mean the implementation of the method. So are
Yeah,
they
you
available?
can go to the book and to my manuscript and read it. Then you'll be able to understand, because I will give a detailed explanation there.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay.
So any question? I think there seems to be no any other question, Doctor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, let me use this opportunity to thank the organizer for organizing this important seminar. I hope you continue this series, and I wish you all the best. Also, I would like to thank the audience for attending my talk today, even if it is online, because I believe that there is no speaker without an audience. Thank you so much for attending my talk, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Doctor. We really appreciate you for the time. Thank you, and take care.
Yeah, take care. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Prophet Juniors. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Evening, yes.
Dr. Julius, yes, Dr. Julius is stepped out just now. So thank you for the presentation. We actually appreciate your effort in preparing the slides and giving us this talk for today. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, we may have to declare this seminar for today's close for now. So thank you for everyone that's come for this presentation. I believe strongly that we have gained one or two things, and it's going to help us in our studies, in our different researches that we are doing in our various schools. God bless you all. So I declare this seminar for today close.
Okay,
thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.